Fighting games are not for everybody. They're fast-paced, very competitive, and almost always have a massive learning curve. And it's understandable that people wouldn't want to pay high prices to try out a new game franchise that they might not even enjoy that much. But do not worry, because I got you covered. I'm Dr. Shoryuken, and here are 5 free fighting games you can get on PlayStation. Also, don't worry, if you're a Switch or Xbox player, I'll make sure to note which games are and are not available to you. Number 5. To start things off, we got Fantasy Strike. Now the reason I want to talk about this game first is how accessible it is. Compared to other fighting games, its learning curve is much smaller, obviously made for more casual players to enjoy, and that's not a bad thing. It even has a helpful tutorial in the beginning. Gameplay wise, besides it being a little bit spammy, is honestly pretty fun. You got combos that are quick and easy to execute, you have a nice selection of characters. My personal favorite character to be is Sasuke. She is obviously an Ibuki ripoff from Street Fighter, but fun to play nonetheless. I also really like playing as Geiger. His playstyle resembles Guile a bit. You can do pretty cool combos with him, and you can do pretty cool setups too with his gear attacks. The game overall feels smooth, responsive, and runs well overall, at least offline. Speaking of, you also have access to online play without even needing a PlayStation Plus subscription, which in my opinion is the best part about the game. You can just jump right on in and fight other players. The player base, however, is kinda small. For me personally, I got quite a lot of matches in bronze, but when I made it to silvers, I had a hard time getting games. There is also a casual option for online play, so it shouldn't be too big of an issue to find people. Another problem is that the netcode is not the best. You often have to deal with a lot of lag and skipping issues. It's playable, but definitely could be better. So yeah, try it out. Its download size is like 8 GB, longtime fighting games fans can have a bit of fun with it, and it's overall a great introduction to newcomers. The platforms this game is available on is PS4 and Nintendo Switch, sadly not on Xbox. I actually did a couple of videos about this game in the past, so I'll have a playlist linked below if you want to check that out. Moving on to number 4. Brawl. Another really accessible one. Brawlhalla's gameplay is basically, it's a Smash Bros. Bootleg. Not only that, it's basically the Fortnite of fighting games. As you can see with the shop here, you got tons of stuff, like crossovers with stuff like SpongeBob. And over the years, I've seen like a lot of like tie-ins with other IPs like WWE, even Avatar. You also, of course, got emotes where you can Victory Royale dance your opponent to shame. Something kind of cool is that Rayman is actually free to play in this game, which is kind of nice for all you Rayman fans out there. Trying this one out, I kind of expected to just gloss over it and not have much fun with it, which hilariously enough, it's a lot of mindless fun. Despite it being the scummy give me your money game, it's actually a solid Smash clone. Never judge a book by its cover, my friends. Similar to Fantasy Strike, its online play is 100% free, no PlayStation Plus needed. I actually took it online for a minute and I fought against this guy named Buddy Boy, and buddy oh boy, we had a brutal matchup spamming and hoping something lands. I actually ended up winning the match, but my favorite moment from the match was right here. Gameplay is smooth and is overall pretty fun. If you like Super Smash Bros. But don't have a Nintendo system or simply want a free version, this game is the game for you. Though competitive fighting game players might not enjoy it as much, kind of like, the Smash games in general. Despite how you may feel about it, you can all enjoy it because it is available on PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox, and the download size, from what I've read, is about 800 megabytes, so it takes very little of your hard drive. Now, before we talk about the next game, now's a good time as any to explain that even though the next few games are free versions of said games, it's important to know that nothing is fully free without a couple of strings attached. These free versions are missing some content, like you usually get the prologue of the story mode or no story mode at all, and the characters you play as are sadly very limited. Usually you'll have about 4 free characters and the rest are locked. On a brighter note, however, in my opinion, the most important parts of these games are intact, like offline versus, full access to training mode, and the arcade. Best of all, you can play them online. Yeah, you can play the free versions online, which is kinda crazy. Unlike the 2 previous games, however, you will need a PlayStation Plus subscription, unfortunately.
I can't avoid this fight.
Get ready, fight!
Number 3, Dead or Alive 5, Last Round, Core Fighters, also known as the waifu game. Dead or Alive, or DOA, is a 3D fighter developed by Team Ninja, and some good examples to compare it to would be the legendary Virtua Fighter or Tekken, which is a great thing, because 3D fighters are super fun. Now, 3D fighters in general are not for everyone in my opinion. They have arguably the largest learning curve of any fighting game and can feel very awkward, stiff, and janky at first, especially if you're green to fighting games in general. Alternatively, to get good quick, you can do what I do and just spam. All jokes aside, it's a great game, and you should definitely try it. It may be different from your average 2D fighters, but still has a lot of familiar elements like combos, mix-ups, and footsies. As a matter of fact, here is a certified cool combo I landed. Also, to give a quick example, the Core Fighters has access to most of the game's content. As you can see, you have Versus, Arcade, Time Attack, Survival, Team Fight, you have full access to Training Mode, you even get the stages, and of course online play. Again, what's the downside of character selection? But hey, free is free. The game is roughly 10 gigabytes. You can download this game on PlayStation and Xbox, sadly not on poor old Nintendo Switch.
We settle this.
Number 2, Dead or Alive 6, Core Fighters. As the title suggests, this is the next installment to the DOA franchise, and its Core Fighters is very similar. You have access to most game modes like Training Mode, Arcade, Offline, and Online Versus, and about 4 characters, though this one has less stages and costing. I personally prefer DOA 5 because to me it looks better, plays a bit better, and I like how you have practically full access to stages, so yeah, not too much to say here, just more Dead or Alive. If you like DOA 5 or 3D fighters in general, you'll like this one. You can download this at a whopping 50 gigabytes. I'm pretty sure for me it actually said 60 gigabytes. That's a massive leap compared to the 10 gigabytes of DOA 5. Anyways, you can download this on PlayStation and Xbox. No look for the poor old Switch, eh?
Looks like you're raring to get started, Captain. Here it goes.
Believe in victory. Battle.
Number 1, and I saved the best for last, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. Made from the same developers of Guilty Gear, BlazBlue, and even Dragon Ball FighterZ, Grand Blue Fantasy is an anime-style fighter with its clean and unique art style and fast-paced high-combo gameplay. I personally haven't had much experience with anime fighters other than BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle that I had on the Nintendo Switch a few years ago. And I really enjoyed this one, it was a treat to try it out. I picked the Sheep Girl and found a basic but combo. I then tried the same combo with another character, and it also worked. Anyways, you have access to most game modes, including Training Mode, Arcade, Offline, and Online Battles. You also get access to the prologue of the story, which is really cool. On top of that, similar to DOA 5, you can play in most of the stages. The gameplay feels super smooth and responsive, and I could barely put down the Arcade mode. This may be because I've played quite a bit of fighting games, but it also seemed pretty easy to get the hang of it, and overall feels pretty accessible to new fighting game newcomers. The visuals and art style is great, and everything you do packs a big punch. Like Dragon Ball FighterZ, this game is eye candy, and I am all in for it. So yeah, out of all of them, this is the one I would recommend you trying the most. Google says you can download this game for 20 gigabytes, but for me it said 30 for me. It was 30 for me. And it is available only for PlayStation, console-wise at least. That concludes the 5 free fighting games you can get on PlayStation, but there's also demos, of course, of other fighting games you can try. I didn't put these on the list for obvious reasons, as the name suggests. These are demos and have very, very little content, but can still be worth trying, to at least get a feel of a fighting game you may want. I'll go over them real quick. I didn't fact check to see if these were on all systems, but I can confirm that all of these are at least on PlayStation. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures All-Star Battle R, that's a mouthful, Kill la Kill IF, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, My Hero One's Justice 2, One Piece Burning Blood, Street Fighter 6, KOF 14, and KOF 15. One more honorable mention I'll add is My Hero Ultra Rumble. Oh yeah, and yes, I know it's not a fighting game, it's a battle royale through and through, but had a few fighting game elements which I really enjoyed as a fighting game fan, had a high emphasis on combat and some combos. If you like My Hero's One Justice, you will probably like this game too, but I'm reaching at this point. thank you for watching this video. I actually wanted to make this video a long time ago, and I'm glad I finally came around to doing it. It was a ton of fun trying out some of these free fighting games and doing research on what platforms they were on and such. So yeah, whether you're wanting to try out fighting games or a fighting game fan looking for new options to play, try these games out, because they're a lot of fun in their own ways. Anyways, no need to drag this outro out, and thanks again for watching. See you next video.